Hey, what's up guys, this is Oakley and we're back in Total War Arena. I'm continuing to just play this game in my free time. I'm really loving it. And something that a lot of you who have the game and who have seen previews and replays, stuff like that, are probably starting to notice is the fact that archers are pretty powerful. So I myself am mostly focusing on leveling up Scipio, trying to aim towards cavalry. So I've been mostly having to deal with archers on the enemy team. I decided for a couple battles to just try and play as archers. So here I chose Miltiades, and I have 3 of these tier 2 archers, Ionian archers, and we're moving up. And kind of what I've seen from archers on this map is they like to position themselves on the flanks of battles, wait in the tall grass, and then shoot into the flanks of units. So here you can see me trying to coordinate with some support. So I'm telling my team basically we're going to try and hold these passes, and then as an archer group I'm going to try and flank into both sides. So I have more and more of these matches where in every game you'll have people, you know, asking, you can see in the comments here, how do you paint? This is my first game, so we're seeing a lot of new people, and so it's kind of hard to get strategies going in the lower tiers, but at least sometimes you have people like in this game who decide to kind of pair up with me and do a little bit of the tactics. So I've had mixed games. Like I said, in the past I've had battles against armies with archers, and they're very, very hard to kill because your initial tendency in Total War from the main games is if you are facing archers with heavy infantry, the best thing to do is kind of to just keep chasing those guys. Don't let them turn around and shoot you, just keep chasing them until you get them quartered. Now in this game where you don't really have that many units, and the rate that archers can turn around, fire, and retreat, they will tear your infantry apart. So one of the first things I learned in this game is if you have heavy infantry, you are essentially hard countered by archers, at least in the lower tiers when you don't have sort of the heavy armor of higher tier Roman infantry. You just get absolutely demolished by archers, and so there's nothing really in this game right now in the low tiers to counter archers. The obvious counter would be cavalry, but at the low tiers you don't actually have cavalry unlocked. So that's the weird thing about this game is you kind of have to go archer heavy, and that's what I've been told by some people is, you know, if you want to rank up quickly, go archer heavy, earn a lot of commander points, and then use those commander points to later invest in unlocking, you know, teching up in terms of your generals, because once you get commander points you can use that to tech up your general commander tech tree. So, you know, get your experience as archers and use that experience to get you to cavalry. So that's kind of what I've been starting to shift into. I'm going to try and do a little bit more of the archer play, just because it feels like you're way more powerful as an archer in the early tiers. So here comes the watchtower. We're starting to get an engagement on the right, so I'm not really able to see what's going on there. I'm just more focused on taking this watchtower and getting a bead on where the opponents are. I've spaced out some of my archers to just be able to lend some supporting fire. I'm in the grass, and I start to see, okay, we have archers on the right, and holy crap, look at all these guys trying to lay an ambush. So I'm going to start sprinkling, shooting some fire into the enemy forces. Because of that watchtower that we capped, we now started to see the opponent. We're flushing them out of the tall grass. Looks like people are pinging on the left, so you get some good teamwork. Over here, our skirmishers in the tall grass are attacking the unsupported archers right there. So like I said, archers are really powerful in this game, but at the same time, you can't lone wolf it. So the enemy archers right here are getting pulled out of position. They didn't have any support. They got way too far ahead of their team. And now I'm going to come here and just mop these guys up, get some free kills on them. Archers are also deadly accurate. So make sure when you have archers and you're fighting against enemy archers, make sure you have some sort of support to force the opponent out into the open, to chase them out of the way. And yeah, don't group up your archers too much. So impressions for Total War Arena so far, now that I have the game, is I'm liking it, but I can see why people would start to get tired of it relatively quickly, just because of these early team battles. It kind of always boils down to some of the same thing, especially when your team doesn't coordinate. I am starting to get the impression that from what people were saying that, hey, you know, if you're playing with randoms, the game isn't that fun. And yes, I still have fun playing by myself with just these archers and by myself right here. I can start to get the impression of, okay, you know, after just a couple of matches, you know, how much can I do? I'll do the same kiting with my archers, and then what? You know, then what happens? I can't really pull off major strategies if people aren't playing with me, if the maps are relatively the same. So that's why I think this is a game that you have to commit over time in little chunks and pieces so it stays fresh. And one of the big things that I just don't have right now is enough experience to tech up and get, you know, unlock new units. And so I'm trying to tech up, unlock cavalry, have the variety to do that. And then what I'm hoping to do in the near future is actually try and partner up with perhaps some other YouTubers, or just join the TeamSpeak page that they have right now, just to get some actual strategies going on with big 10v10s. In this battle right now, I feel like archers kind of function a little bit like cavalry do in Total War Attila, where you have to have cavalry in Total War Attila, and then you use those cavalry to just run all over the battlefield, pick off units that aren't inadequately prepared, and that is exactly what you do with the archers here. You run them around, and then you make sure you target units that aren't adequately prepared. You concentrate fire on them. So here, look at this. We have 2 full teams, so that's 6 archers right here, concentrating fire on enemy forces, and you can see just how quickly they get melted with concentrated archer fire. I have Ionians. I believe my ally here has my Sinian archer, so I think those are actually a little more powerful. And look at this, our opponent is trying to dodge out of the way, but because they don't have any archers in the vicinity, they don't have the range to counter us. So that's why I think archers are a little too powerful at this point. Also, I wanted to make note, as you're drawing on the map, it's a little hard to show that. Look at that, I drew blue lines into the grass and it just automatically disappeared. We also saw that, look at this, there's some archer fire coming out of the tall grass. So I definitely like this because it means that you can hide your units really well. You can get these ambushing, flanking tactics, and you can see I have to get basically point blank to even find these skirmishers. So I like the fact that even though it seemed like we wiped out all of the opponents, all of a sudden there were some units that we had overlooked. So from my games, I've been able to see that actually a lot of the line of sight mechanics really do play into this. And my archer is still firing projectiles into that mass. So these games are fun. I definitely hope you guys can check out the beta. I am, however, or no, it's the early alpha. Yeah, I am basically only allowed to play this because I am a YouTuber. I don't think people from the US really have the ability to play it because US servers technically aren't still up. But I haven't had any issues with lag, and that's one of the big things I have to give credits to for the people at CA is the fact that there's no lag in this game, even though I'm connecting to servers in Europe. So that's been awesome. But then again, you don't have too many people just saturating the servers because I don't think at any point in time there's anything more than like 200 people trying to team up. But then again, I'm on US time, so I don't quite get to see the peak of the European playtimes. But every day we see more and more people joining. So yeah, this battle has been fun. I definitely like the play of the archers, although you feel like you're kind of being overpowered. Because look at this, my opponent is just trying to charge at me, and I just, boom, all out destroy them. However, take a look at that. My opponent already routed one of my guys here. My archer is still full strength, but I think he used his war cry ability and broke the morale of my guys. So that's my general unit actually trying to retreat, and he's just pulling back. So I'm going to try and regain control from him, but for a good maybe 10 seconds I lose control. Meanwhile, you can see the rest of the battlefield kind of went, it's gone cold, and that's because, you know, either we won or opponents won. And it looks like actually we lost the city. And that's maybe one of the points about this battle, that even though I helped win us this flank, it could very much be lost on the other side of the battlefield. So there you can see I'm shuffling my general to the center just to make sure we don't lose, and then I'm going to be helping to push this side. I've had many games where our attack was just too focused on one side of the battlefield. We completely neglected the other side, and the opponents were able to crush their own forces and move over and cap our base. So it has led to some interesting situations where you have to decide, do I push on to the enemy control point, or do I send some couple forces back to defend? But it is a long time to get back to base, so it either takes coordination or fast units, and at this point at the low levels you don't have fast units, you don't have cavalry, and you don't have much coordination. So I've been finding some of these battles a little trying, and like I said, I'm just eager to move on to when we get more units. Once you have archer supremacy, it's basically game over. You can just kite, especially on open maps like this. You can see my archer fire will absolutely obliterate units, and we just have a couple of these. We have free reign on our opponents. Yeah, I've actually had maybe I'll try and upload this video later, but I had a battle where I was playing, I think one of the last players left on my team defending against a couple armies of half-strength units all coming towards me, but because they were all infantry and I had a couple archers, I was just able to kite them to death. And just like here you can see these half-strength guys trying to chase after archers, there's no way they can catch up to you. They just don't have the armor or speed to do it, and every time they get up close, you can see we're just delivering massive deadly volleys with the hill advantage here. We're just raining death on these guys, so getting a lot of free kills. So it's interesting to think also that the Romans don't really get archer units unless you're going to buy special archer units, or you get high tier where you can finally unlock them. You have to spend gold, which is actually the money values to get archer units, but that's kind of counterbalanced by the fact that you have heavy infantry, whereas the enemy Greek hoplites don't really have heavy infantry at the moment. They do have the ability to hold the line for a while with hoplites, but they just don't have that chopping power that's necessary. But the good thing is that you aren't, when you're on like two different teams here, not everyone has to be Roman on one team. It's not Roman against Greek, it's kind of a mixed match of the two. But you can see here the combined fire of like 3 armies worth of skirmishers is particularly deadly. A big problem is also friendly fire, so that definitely does help balance out skirmishers a bit, because otherwise if there was no friendly fire, you could just basically take a whole army of archers and not even worry about it. I've had actually multiple battles where friendly fire has destroyed entire units of mine, so I find online a lot of people they only care about their units. They'll fire into the crowd, they don't care if they kill your guys. So again, just some issues with team coordination and new people online. But overall, I'm definitely still enjoying this game. I'm enjoying the level progression, the maps themselves, and it's really cool. I look forward to sharing with you some of the other not tier 1, tier 2 units once I unlock those. I have been finally unlocking the ballistas, playing with those. Those have been fun. The deployables are kind of comical in the sense that I've burned my own men, and I can't get them to work quite right, but hopefully I'll be able to get a replay for you where I do get that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of this battle and this commentary, just talking a little bit about what's going on with archers, how those are super powerful. And yeah, I hope to see the meta change up a little bit, and hopefully once I unlock more guys in the 2nd and 3rd tier, and even going into tier 5 and 6, we'll see more stuff. Because, I mean, look at this. I got 384 kills just for 5 losses with 3 archer units, so that is, yeah, pretty powerful. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am very privileged to have this game early on, so go ahead and check out my channel for some replays. I'll be bringing more of these in the future, and let me know what types of commanders or units you'd like to see in the future. For more in-depth look at this, definitely go ahead and just do a YouTube search. A lot of people have more in-depth look at this. See you in the next one. Peace out.